Hey you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk hair tips. This is a video I've had requested from quite a few of you. I did do a video a couple of years ago on how I keep my hair kind of healthy, and I thought it was worth redoing that video, and there's a couple of things that have changed, but not an awful lot. I'll try and remember and tell you the things that are different this time to last time. So I've got 10 tips for you. So I'm not specifically talking about products, although I do mention a few, but it's more about the things that I do and don't do with my hair to keep it this way. You know, my hair's been the only thing I've always really appreciated, I suppose you could say, and I've always really worked hard to keep it in good condition. So these are the things that work for me. I'm pretty happy that I've got my hair back to feeling healthy again. It's still, I would say, 90% of what it was pre that menopausal period last year. And if you have really dry, damaged hair, I would recommend giving that video a watch, because I do mention a lot of products on there that I use and things that I did to kind of baby my hair and get it back to being healthier again, and it seems to have worked. But these are more sort of regular things. So number one, and this is something I don't think I did before, but is to brush my hair before washing using my Tangle teaser. This Tangle teaser I use on dry hair, on wet hair. It's the only brush I really use on my hair because it's gentle. You know, I start at the bottom. This is normally where I've got tangles, and then just sort of work my way to the top. But it's really important to me now to brush my hair before I wash it. I find that it's then less tangly. It gets less tangled up when you're washing it. It gets less tangled when you put the conditioner in. And I do comb my conditioner through with a wide tooth comb, just to make sure it's evenly distributed. And I've noticed when I use my wide tooth comb, it's much easier when I've brushed my hair before I've started washing it. Number two is to use a face cloth or a towel if you can, after you have rinsed out your shampoo before you put your conditioner in. This is not a new one. This is something I have done for many, many years. I used to do sort of, on my day off, I would wash my hair and then, you know, wrap it up in a towel, and then when it was a little bit drier, put in the conditioner. Not drier, it was still damp, but it had taken a lot of the water out, put the conditioner in and then wash it out. And it sort of stemmed from that. So what I do now is, if I don't have time to do that, which is most of the time, when I'm in the shower or the bath, I will use either a face cloth, a dry face cloth specifically for that purpose, or I use these. I sometimes have these little towels. They're just like little guest towels, and just sort of squeeze the water out as much as I can before putting a conditioner in. What I find that does is it means that you use less conditioner for a start, but it's less diluted. You're not diluting the conditioner as much with the water. You know, you're using a more richer conditioner on your hair. So that's why I do that. Number three is if you're having a bath, pop your conditioner, the bottle, into the bath as you're having your bath, before you have your bath, whatever. And so you can do it with shampoo as well. I sometimes do it with my shampoo. Or if you're in the shower, just put it in the bottom of the shower, you know, around your feet. What I find that does is it thins down whatever product I'm using. And again, with shampoo, that means you use less and it foams up a lot more. But with conditioner, it means that it penetrates much easier. Remember, I've talked before about sometimes you can get clumps of conditioner sitting on your hair, but once you've sort of thinned it down, if you just leave it sitting in the hot water, it just distributes through your hair so much easier. And I think, like I said, I'm not talking about specific products. Whatever product you have, you can do this with, but I think that the more you get the conditioner into the hair shaft, you know, the better it's going to work. If you use a conditioner or a mask and it says leave in for 2 to 5 minutes, or a conditioner normally just says rinse out, I would leave that in for as long as you can. You know, if you can, like, towel dry your hair first and get on with things at home. If you're working from home, it's a lot easier, obviously, you know, then leave conditioner in for as long as possible. I leave it in for probably a couple of hours when I've got time, like I said. Otherwise, I just do the trick of taking as much water out as I can. If curling or straightening your hair, leave to dry. Yeah, number 5, if you normally curl your hair or you normally straighten your hair, all of it, then I feel like there is not an awful lot of point in blow drying it, other than for quickness. So that might be where you decide to blow dry it. But if you have got the time to let your hair dry naturally, then and then straighten it later on. So maybe wash your hair in the evening, let it dry naturally, and then straighten it the following day or curl it the following day. I've found that that works really well. I'm still surprised when I see people on social media normally that are straightening their hair and then curling it. I'm like, I can't see how that will make that much of a difference, you know. And what a lot of heat you're putting on your hair, what a lot of damage you're doing to your hair, you know. And if you don't blow dry it, then you use your straighteners or curling irons, I feel like you're only submitting your hair to one lot of heat, you know. So that's what I've been doing. I sort of thought about it once when I think my migraine was so bad I couldn't blow dry my hair, and I left my hair to dry naturally, and then I curled it, and I thought, oh, I don't know why I bothered blow drying it, because it didn't look any different, you know. The only thing I suppose is you might get a little bit more volume, but you can add volume in afterwards, you know, with dry shampoos or hairsprays or whatnot. So yeah, I would recommend giving it a try. And I did it with straightening as well. I tried it with straightening, like left my hair to dry naturally and then straightened it later on, and again it looked absolutely fine. I think that's fairly recent. I don't think that was in my last video. And this next one is a recent find, but I absolutely love it. I've talked about this with you guys before. It's a silk or satin cap. I know that silk pillows are all the rage, if you like, or were all the rage at one point, and I do have a satin pillowcase, and I didn't love it. I feel like you need to have, especially when you're trying to match up your bedroom, you know, your duvet with everything else. It wasn't easy to do that with having a satin pillowcase, and I don't know, I just didn't find it that comfortable. But I did find it did help with my hair, but not as much as using this cap. Now, if you are dating, just moved in with your boyfriend, don't want them to see you in this cap because it's not the most flattering thing, then maybe go for the pillowcase. But this satin bonnet is inexpensive. I got it from Amazon, and as soon as I started using this, I could feel the difference in my hair as soon as I woke up. So I put this on at night, and my hair feels better in the morning. It doesn't just protect it, it feels better. It's almost as if it's been given a conditioner or something, you know. I don't put any product in, I just wear this. So yeah, I highly recommend this. And like I said, I hadn't discovered this in my last one. I've got now, I think, about 3 or 4 of these. One of them I've left in my suitcase so that I always remember to take it away with me. Number 7, wash hair less. Yeah, this is something that I did talk about in the last video. And ever since I started doing this, probably 5 years ago, I would say, it has definitely worked out well for me, and my hair has acclimatized. So when it was first mentioned to me, I was horrified, and I was like, oh my goodness, no, you know, I only wash my hair every other day. And I remember saying it to my friend as well, and she was, oh no, I need to wash my hair every day. I washed my hair every other day, not every day. Every other day is when I washed my hair. But when I left the NHS, I was obviously working from home, and so it was easier to do so. And obviously then my migraine started as well, so it was easier to, or I had more of an excuse, if you like I'm not washing my hair today. And I would say it only took a couple of weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks before my hair acclimatized. I really thought that I would just be constantly thinking, oh, my hair feels horrible, I can't wait to wash it, which is how I used to feel like sort of by the end of day 2. And I know my friend is the same now because she's been working from home since lockdown. And I was really surprised when I spoke to her the other day and said, how often do you wash your hair? And it was every few days. It wasn't every day. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. You know, the less washing you do, the less blow drying you do, the less straightening you do. You're just leaving your hair to get its natural oils going, and, you know, not using harsh cleansers to rinse out oils and all that kind of thing. I suspect people might have expected me to say at some point in this, you know, use sulfate free, use silicone free, I don't know. I know that a lot of people use specific products, but that's not, I did try that briefly during the sort of menopausal hair time, but I didn't find that it worked for me really, to worry about the ingredients. Number 8 is to do regular masks, but I don't mean masks like the masks that you just buy in Boots. Like I don't think you need to spend extra money on doing a mask like once a week or whatever, but I think every few months use something like Olaplex 3, which is a treatment that repairs damaged hair. Basically, it's one of the few things you can buy that does that. But the Philip Kingsley Bond Builder is really good as well, the Philip Kingsley Elasticizer. In fact, if you watch that video of mine, the menopausal video, I'm talking to you in that about how to tell if your hair needs protein or if it needs hydration and, you know, by taking a strand and whatnot. And that's a way of finding out exactly what type of product you need to use on your hair. But something I find using this Olaplex every couple of months, if I think, oh, my hair's feeling a little bit damaged, then I will, or a little bit dry, a little bit brittle, I'll use something like Olaplex. I put it in overnight and it really helps a lot. If you find Olaplex too expensive, I use this, and this is the sweet almond oil, but I've used literally cupboard oil. Like, I've done this for years and years, like literally, let me say I was probably like 17, 18 when I started doing it. So 30 plus years I've been doing this. I specifically started off doing this when I went swimming. I would cover my hair in oil, like saturate it so it looked wet, go for a swim, and then I would use a deep cleansing shampoo to get all the oil out, and my hair just felt amazing. And so because it worked so well, I started using it as a hair mask. So sometimes I would just saturate my hair in oil, go to bed, put a towel across my pillow, go to bed and wash it out in the morning, and that works really well. And like I said, back when I couldn't afford things like Olaplex 3 and whatnot, that's what I used. And I was using literally my olive oil from the cupboard. I did have an almond oil, but I have never seen that since in the cooking aisle. But they used to do an almond oil. Just any oil I had, but this is the one I've been using more recently, is an almond oil. I also used an Asda one that was a coconut fractionated oil, a liquid oil. But yeah, any oil that you can get your hands on, you know, cover your hair in it, literally, like I said, until it's saturated. Then I'd like put a towel on my shoulder just to protect my clothing, then put that towel on my pillow and then wash it out in the morning. And you do tend to need to use a deep cleansing shampoo and give your hair a good couple of washes, and then you probably don't need conditioner after that. I do sometimes put conditioner in, but your hair just feels amazing after that. The great thing about the oil treatment is your hair's never going to suffer from that. You know, it's not going to do any damage to it. Number 9 is use an Aquis towel. Now, I'm hesitant to talk about this only because I did mention this in the video a couple of years ago, and I have used an Aquis towel for many, many years, and I find it feels a lot gentler. But they seem to have gone up in price so much. I would never buy one for like 40, 50 pounds, you know, so I'll see if I can find a less expensive one. But this, I believe when I've mentioned this, that people have said you can get them in maybe even like a pound store or something like that. Let me know if anybody knows where you can get these sort of microfiber type towels. It's just a really thin towel, but it soaks up so much more of the water, and it means that when you go to blow dry your hair hasn't got as much water in it, you know. And especially if speed is important to you, you know, if you don't have much time, then using something like this, for me, it works really well, and it feels gentler than using a big heavy towel as well. The other thing with a big heavy towel is it will pull more on your hair. And, you know, probably one of the things I should say is avoid things like this, where you know, when I put my hair back and pull it like that, you should avoid doing that as much as possible. And I don't have my hair up very much, to be honest. It's only really in these videos. But yeah, with a big heavy towel, I feel like it pulls on my hair, and the Aquis towels are much better. The final one is regular haircuts. So number 10, regular haircuts. I really feel like that makes a difference, because again, there was a time when Kev and I were made redundant that we trimmed down everything. It's funny because I was still spending money on things to review on YouTube, and Kev was still spending money on golf, but we literally sat down and cut a lot of our bills down. We never went to M&S for the whole time. We never, I don't know, there was a lot of things we cut down. We cut down our Sky. We didn't have any Sky television. We cut down our mobile allowance, and no haircuts. There was a lot of things like that, you know. But what I ended up doing, because I remember thinking my hair just feels, it got to a point where it didn't feel nice, and I felt like I needed a haircut. And no matter what I did to it, it wasn't making it feel better. So I got a Groupon haircut. So if you're struggling, because it's expensive, I think, you know, for a woman going to the hairdresser is expensive. I pay between 50 and 60 pounds for my haircut, and then of course there's a tip. And so it's an expensive thing, especially if you're trying to do it every 8 to 12 weeks. But like I said, in that time, I discovered Groupon haircuts, and I would just look at Groupon or Voucher or whatever, and I would go and look at reviews, make sure that they weren't, you know, terrible reviews. It's not because they're bad places. Most of the time it's because they're not on a main street, and so they're not highly visible, or they're new, or they just haven't managed to get enough people to get the word of mouth around, you know. And I went to quite a few good ones. and got quite a few deals, and so I would do that, you know. But regular haircuts every 8 to 12 weeks, I think, make a real difference. I'm saying every 8 to 12 weeks. I probably will go a little bit longer now. It'll probably be 16 weeks. My hairdresser did say to me, you know, make sure you come back in 12 weeks. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, it'll probably be more 12 to 16 weeks, depending on how I feel my hair is. If I feel at 12 weeks like, oh, I need a cut, I will go for one. But I noticed in lockdown, when there were no hairdressers, I ended up cutting it myself, but I didn't need to do it that often. So those are my 10 kind of tips and tricks, if you like. In terms of tools and products, the tools, I probably talked about tools and products in my end of year hair care favorites, but I use the Dyson hairdryer, which I love. My friend isn't impressed at all, and I think she wishes she'd never bought it, but I really like it. It cuts down dry time for me. I use the GHD curve for curling my hair. I use the Babyliss big hair rotating hairbrush to style my hair. I don't use that much anymore because it catches on my hair. My old one of that never used to do that, but this one does catch on my hair a bit more, so I have to use less hair in it. It takes longer, and I just don't feel like that one works as well as my older one. I use the Bellissima steam straightener, which I love that. I feel like my hair feels really smooth after using that. So that's what I use tools wise. Products wise, like I said, I've probably talked about them all in my video, but I still love that. I've noted down here my favorites is the Wow spray, the anti-frizz spray. That is really, really good. My Moroccan oil serum is wonderful, and I've recently discovered this, and I think I've already put a video up on this, hopefully. It's the Aqueous PCA Bond Repair Treatment, and I love my Olaplex, you know, so there's quite a few products that I love. But overall, these are the 10 things I think that I follow these rules, and it makes a big difference. That's everything. Let me know what your kind of rules are, your hair rules. I know that some of you follow, I believe it's called the curly girl method or curly hair method, something like that. And I don't actually know what that is. I don't know if that's the cleansing conditioner where, you know, you don't use a shampoo, you just use a conditioner that rinses out and you don't wash it. I don't know, but that's something that I haven't tried. It just doesn't, unless I get to a point where nothing's working for me, then I would try something like that. But I'm really interested in what people do to keep their hair going, because there's all sorts of different things you can do, you know, and I've had so many different ideas from people. So let me know what your hair rules are. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll put all of the details of my makeup in the description below, and I'll speak to you soon.